Hey y'all, hey, I'm back with another YouTube video, this time of a Alpine ILX-007 head unit for my GMC Denali 2005 is what we have here. And so I put this in here, and I'll put in a little light here, maybe a little bit better, but you can see that it's got the just the Apple Play here, and we don't have it hooked up yet, so there's not really, it's kind of grayed out. Got the auxiliary, and what that'll do is actually I hooked up I have the DVD unit in our particular Denali, and I hooked up the connector there in the back that does the steering wheel remote and controls and auxiliary. And so I was actually able to go to Radio Shack and get a RCA splitter there that was from the 3.5mm to the RCA outs and connect the auxiliary, and it maintains the DVD sound. You don't see the video here, but that's probably, there's a good reason for that, because you shouldn't be doing it when you're driving, but the kids in the back can still watch the video and hear it through the speakers if you hit that auxiliary. And so this little button here goes back to the main menu, and we've got actually we did put in a backup camera in this particular unit here, and ran that myself. It wasn't too difficult, but every time it goes into reverse, the backup camera of course comes on, and we can go back to the main menu that way. And we've got our radio here, and we were able to again to get it to work through the units there. So there is also a volume button here. It's a little more difficult to use. It's not like the old dial kind that used to be on here on this Denali. So this is that one. So we've also got Siri, and it works really well. Of course, it won't work right now because I'm not connected. I'll show you that connection in a moment. But it's got the settings. You can go in here and adjust, and you know, it's pretty self-explanatory. But so let me hook up the CarPlay, and I'll show you how the menu changes when we hook it up to what this is an iPhone 6, not a 6 Plus, but I'm sure it works the same way with everything else. So this is 6. Here we go, connecting our. Alright, so I've connected the CarPlay, and you can see the menu now is quite a bit different. You can go back to that main menu, but now you have the CarPlay and the apps that are currently available. I'm sure as time goes by there'll be more. I don't have some of the ones that are on here like Spotify and Stitcher, because frankly I don't know what the heck those are. I use Pandora, and so anyway, I'm a pretty simple kind of guy. So I play the music, as you can see right here, the music, use my maps. If I need GPS, I can see text messages and return them via Siri. So when a text message pops up, it tells you, hey, there's a message, you hit it, it reads it to you, and then you can read back and respond if you like. And then of course the phone, and we had a Bluetooth mic, and so we actually ran it up and put it right here on our little A-pillar, is where we put our Bluetooth, well, it's not Bluetooth because it's connected, but it's a mic that works really flawlessly here, and Siri works remarkably well with this. And so you can hit Siri and ask it to do a number of things, and I'll come back with a little more detail when I have a separate phone to record, because I can't record and run the CarPlay at the same time. But we'll get more into the detail, and then of course at the end of it all, you can always hit me up with any questions you might have. Hey, alright, I'm back. So you can see now that the menu is up and plugged in, and so we'll hit the Apple CarPlay, and we've got it going. So this is just showing Pandora playing, and obviously you can skip to the next song with this, or obviously with the seat button here, because I have put in the aftermarket steering wheel controls. So just skip to the next song. So a little Bob Marley going on. So the cool thing, again, obviously, is you can come back here, and if I want to hit Siri and have Siri help me out with maybe an address. Where's the nearest QFC?
The nearest one I found is QFC on Park Place Center.
Alright, so it kind of works just like your you know, your iPhone. It's just mirroring what you got going on. So if I wanted to go there, obviously I hit
Starting
my start.
route to QFC. Head east on Kirkland Avenue, then turn left onto Park Place Center.
Alright, and then obviously it would give you that guided GPS information as you travel through the speakers of your radio. And so that's pretty convenient. And so the other thing here is that, you know, you can just go to your own music that you've got, you know, come to your, you know, whatever you've got here, go to your artists, what have you. and of course the maps, we can end that. And if you just wanted to have, and I'm, as people up here in the Northwest might know, I'm in Kirkland, Washington, so I can just do my navigation here, and if I want to have it point to where kind of orientate where I'm at, you just kind of, I think you have hit on this or hit on this, I can't remember yet, this one here, and it'll just kind of go to where you want to be as you're traveling. It'll just show you directly where you're going. So it's pretty cool. Even though it is Apple Maps, it still works pretty well. And then we have messages.
Who would you like to text?
Yeah, so I can just text wife. That is funny.
Okay, what do you want to say to wife?
That is funny, isn't it?
Your message to wife says, "That is funny, isn't it?" Ready to send it?
Send.
I'll send it.
All right, so pretty simple. Just send a little thing like that, and then we've got, you got your Alpine menu too, which is the same thing. And going back, so Siri works remarkably well.
I can
with
make a call for you or play your voicemail. Which would you like?
That's pretty cool too, playing your voicemail, and going back to it. So Siri works really well. Probably the best version of Siri that I've ever encountered, and I've started off with the original iPhone, and obviously they didn't have it on the original one, but it works pretty well. And as I had shown you before, I do have a backup camera on this one, and so it wasn't too hard to install. I think that this is a GMC Yukon Denali 2005, and it was pretty simple to install. I just got the PAC steering wheel addition and just wired that up according to the instructions. It's pretty simple. And then on this one I was able just to kind of pop everything off. It just pulls right off. It's real simple. And then down ran underneath here the steering wheel, I ran cords for the for our little what I have here. I found that to be the easiest place to put it for me personally. And then of course I ran the backup camera down down along through that kind of stuff, and all the way through the back, and placed it back there, and it works really well. And so just to give you a little idea, the backup camera, every time that you put it in reverse, of course, as it should, it does come on. Of course, it's restarting here just for a sec because I just started the engine on the car. But every time I put it in reverse, it's going to switch over to my backup camera. So works pretty well. Music's still playing, obviously. Put it back in our park position, and we come up on our Apple Play. And so yeah, if you're tired of listening to that, you can just go to your radio, and you got your radio stations and selections there. I don't have HD radio, and I never really made fun of that. I mean, use of that anyway. So it works pretty well. Obviously, if you don't have an iPhone, this isn't for you. But if you do, it works remarkably well. I have no complaints at all at this point. It integrated right into the Bose system that we have, and had no problem, and works just fine. I usually control my volume this way, and rather than on the here, it's because it's a little more difficult since it's not a dial one. But I like to control the volume that way. And so when you restart it, sometimes what you'll have to do is come in into your. So I wired mine into my console here. So there's I popped a little hole down there, and I wired in my console. And so sometimes you gotta just kind of come in here and do your little setup, and then come back and it'll play. So, but it's working pretty well for me. I have no complaints, and I think you'll enjoy it if you. So yeah, so just sometimes you just got to go and re-enter your access code or fingerprint, what have you, and there you go, to make it work. So just like an iPhone, when you restart the car, you'll have to come in here and do that, but works pretty well. So I would recommend it. Again, it's the Alpine. It's not very good. Alpine ILX-007. So you can do this yourself. Enjoy it, because I think it works remarkably well, especially Siri. I was really impressed with Siri on this, how it works, reading text, sending messages, answering phone calls, doing all that kind of stuff. And so perfectly incorporated into the steering wheel controls, and relatively easy to put in. Again, once the wiring was done, it's just a couple of clicks in the back there. Once the wiring's done, it's just really simple just to click it into the existing harness back there in the back. I probably put it in the head unit myself. If you've ever done it before, I probably put it in about 30 minutes and then ran the backup camera. That took another 30 minutes, but it's not going to take you a whole day to do this, and I certainly wouldn't pay someone $500-600 to install one of these things. That's ridiculous. So you could do it yourself. So enjoy it.